Ben Sowers, is here to talk about some pretty interesting advances that are happening with the use of the data from the 9 million smart meters that PG&E has installed in customers, both gas and electric customers. And the data that is generated from those 9 million smart meters, which how many of you have actually gone onto the PG&E site and seen your energy uses by the hour? Yeah, I figured this group. It's kind of intoxicating to really, oh, look, that's when I turned that on. It's pretty cool. And actually, while we're doing a show of hands, one thing I neglected to do at the beginning of the program that I would like to see quick before we introduce Ben is, how many people work in energy efficiency in the room? Trying to get a sense of, SPI is very multidisciplinary. Okay, how many people work in renewables? How about oil and gas? Boris, you have to raise your hand for that too, I guess.
With the solar.
How about with nuclear, with Tyson over here? Okay. Anyone here from our utilities? Okay, we got a few. And biofuels, anyone? Electric cars, or a few? Okay, any others that I'm forgetting?
Government regulation.
Government regulation? Okay, hey, there's a role for that. Well, no, I'm so glad you mentioned that, actually, because one thing that's unique about this half of the program is much of these changes that we'll be talking about are not by government prescription. They are actually by new technologies, entrepreneurs, and driven by new business models. And that's pretty exciting. I think governments have a huge role to play in setting our energy policy in the right direction. And these speakers in the second half of the program are really talking about how individual markets, new models, new technologies, and exciting entrepreneurs are leading that change in that policy environment. So with that, Ben Sowers from HomeIntel started his company while he was still in the graduate program, graduate school of business at Stanford. And he has partnered with, am I going to say it right? Home Thank you. Home Energy Analytics, his business partners, and they actually met through Gill Masters. How many of you in this room took a class from Gill Masters while you were at Stanford? I bet it's a good percentage. He is an energy efficiency guru. Even back when I was at Stanford, he was packing auditoriums at 8 a.m., which is an ungodly hour for Stanford undergraduates to show up for anything, and he would pack his class because he was that dynamic of a speaker. And he's inspired a whole generation of change agents in this field. So Ben then went to Sunrun, or before grad school was at Sunrun for a while, and now he is here to talk about using all this plethora of data from PG&E smart meters to drive changes in how we reduce our energy usage. Thank you, Ben.
Thank you. I wish one clap. So cold. Just one clap. I should have channeled my inner Gil and worn some hiking boots and some hiking gear, but thanks for having me tonight. A couple of disclaimers. When I mention HomeIntel, I'm actually talking about a partnership between Home Energy Analytics and HomeIntel. And the other disclaimer is that James is working with us in the front row, so I've paid him to laugh at energy efficiency jokes, which are few and far between. But we'll get going. So when I talk, if I do say P for P, I mean pay for performance. And if I say EE, I'm talking about energy efficiency. So I'm going to try to jam two topics into one 5-minute presentation, give you a crash course on the new residential pay for performance program, and then also talk about the related untapped plug load that our business, HomeIntel, our program is going after. So when I first joined Sunrun, I worked with Sydney, and I really loved this cartoon. The sun's beating down on our back. It's so obvious we should use it. I feel the same way about energy efficiency. It's right under our noses. But as Gil has said, it's like trying to get people to pick up 10,000 pennies to save $100. So here's a graph of how we're going to hit emissions reductions targets by 2015. The top category is energy efficiency. Several referenced it as being the most cost-effective. I'm glad I don't have to get in the ring with the other renewable sources to battle that out. And how are we going to get there? We're going to spend a lot of money. We spend about $1 billion a year in California on energy efficiency programs, and about a third of that is residential, and a infinitesimal percentage of that might be coming to our program, HomeIntel, but we hope for that to grow. So how do they pay out for these energy efficiency incentives? The old way is based on rebates. Expected savings, you get the money up front, and then you're using it to pay for your next vacation. Here are some examples. The new way, which we're talking about tonight, is performance-based. So you don't get paid as an energy efficiency business unless you're delivering measurable savings at the smart meter. So no more upfront rebates, it's only performance payments. And here's a quick example of how this works from a structural perspective. It's a lot like a residential solar PPA, where you have thousands of homes and you take the net performance of them, and a contractor like HomeIntel or HEA gets paid for performance across their portfolio. And so PG&E just started this at the residential level. These are the two companies that won it this summer. Build It Green is a more traditional contractor. HomeIntel, which I'll start transitioning to the second part of the presentation, is more of a plug-load-based online smart audit service. So what do we do at HomeIntel? HEA has been working on this business for 8 years, and now we finally have a business model to make money off of free online audits and custom recommendations. So we dig into your smart meter data and provide energy coaching to find really low-cost, low-hanging fruit energy efficiency in your home. The problem we face when we start talking with homeowners is when they think about efficiency, they think about Energy Star appliances, LED light bulbs, and heating and cooling. And I don't blame them. This is good stuff, but it's pretty costly and it's not for everyone. But that's where the budget is going. So you see about 45% of that $1 billion is going to heating and cooling and retrofits. Another 45% is going to lighting and appliances. But the big question is, where is the actual energy being used in the home? And that's what we're focused on. We're focused on plug load, which is everything else in your home that's plugged in. And plug load today in Northern California accounts for over 50% of your bill. This is your refrigeration, your TV, your entertainment. This is a really fancy chart to say that bigger homes have bigger plug load problems. And that's where we're going to start focusing. And that's our target customer initially. I'm glad I didn't try to explain. So you're still trying to picture plug load, and I think there are a lot more sexy presentations than this one, but operational efficiency isn't sexy, but it starts adding up. So we look for baseboard heaters, recirc pumps, pool pumps, the 20-year-old refrigerator in the garage, and we walk the customer through a journey. So it takes a little bit of hand-holding. So at first, they really need to understand what's going on in their home. Second, once they know, they can start investigating the problem areas, and at the end of the day, they have to take action. So how do we help them understand? We break their usage down into categories, and we don't try to go down to your toaster. We try to go down to actionable and accurate categories that we can track from your smart meter. So the bottom category is always on, it's running in the middle of the night, and we have other categories all the way up to heating and cooling. And we use the pie chart. You'd be amazed at how every pie chart for every home is completely different. And we use it as a priority list. So if your big usage is heating and cooling, go to an HVAC contractor. But for most of us, it's in the other category. And we talked about making lives better. We like to think of ourselves as an energy doctor, and it's a process when we work with customers. So we look at the data, we make a recommendation, we monitor it with smart meter data, and then we adapt as we need to. And since we're just getting started with this program, this is a plug. If you're interested to see where your energy hogs in your home are, you can sign up tonight and get an answer. So thank you.